So welcome back to the channel, and today, as usual, every month we go through our 4 Python strategies that are completely automated. We run through them, we give you the entire breakdown, and we show the performance basically with new updates to the free website that I provide to you as well. So the first strategy is quite simple for any of you who don't know. It's basically Zach's ranks. So they give ranks to each stocks every month, and we web scrape over 6,000 stocks, and we look for all the stocks that have rank 1 or 2. That's simple. That's how simple the strategy is. They've backtested it themselves. Again, them backtesting their own data, of course, they're going to say it has good stuff, but apparently rank 1 and 2 do outperform the S&P, and you can, over a long run, again, this is our first month with the new backtest system, and you can see for this month, so from July to August, it actually underperformed, so it had a minus 2% return, whereas the S&P was basically flat. So yeah, not a good start for our newer backtest where everything is transparent. You can see everything. But again, we backtested this over 2 years and it did outperform the S&P by quite a lot. So yeah, this is just the first unlucky month, I guess, for our first strategy. Then the second strategy, again, pretty self-explanatory. It's trying to predict stocks that will beat or have positive earnings. So how we do this, again, the pillar to all our strategies is Zach's rank 1 and 2. But how we do it for earnings is we look at the EPS percentage. What is that? It's analysts rating how much a stock is expected to beat its EPS estimate. So if it's negative, then that means a stock is meant to or expected to miss on earnings. If it's positive, then that means that stock is expected to beat earnings. Again, you could argue this is priced in, but we buy it 3 days before earnings and then hold for a long time after earnings, basically a month. So if earnings is say on the, I don't know, the 4th of August, we would buy it on the 1st and then hold until the 31st. That's how we backtest this. And you can see for the last month, this was from June to July, since you need to have a month to hold the stock over. So that wasn't earning season. It's this month that's earning season. So in next month's video, you'll get to see that. But yeah, only 3 stocks, since there's not a lot of earnings, and the criteria is quite strict. Like already, it needs to be a good stock and it needs to be predicted to be earnings by analysts. So yeah, only 3 stocks, and they all, I don't know if they all beat earnings or not, but all I know is they all had a negative return. So yeah, this is disgusting for a month. A minus 13% return is just not acceptable. But that's what happens when you only have 3 stocks posting earnings, right? And it's not something to sort of attach yourself to, right? This is only 3 stocks. Again, this one has been backtested. This one was proven to do well over 2 years. So again, won't worry about it. And the earnings season is going to be the ultimate test in the next month. Then the dividends one. This one I don't actually run myself, since it's a dividend capture strategy. It's been proved to basically not work. And when you take into account taxes, all of that, it's just definitely not worth it. But what it is, because it was requested on the channel, so yeah, I was basically asked to put it as a strategy. So here it is for you guys, and we have the data anyway, so why not prove that it doesn't work, basically. But what the dividend capture strategy is you buy a stock before its X date, you hold till about like a month after its X date, and then you sell, and you hope that the stock has recovered from that X date shock where it drops by a sealed amount for that dividend. And you can see quite a lot of stocks, again, pillar of everything, Zach's rank 1 and 2, but then everything else is just any stock that has a X date in that month, basically. So backtesting this, adding the dividends, again, we don't take into account any taxes here. There are 47 stocks, and this one actually did well. They had a 1.19% return, but again, we backtested this strategy, and just thinking about it, like the only reason you're buying a stock is because you think it'll recover from the XA shock. I mean, it does make sense in a way, because I mean, I guess you could say you couldn't say the X8 is pricing, because it's on the X8, it's meant to drop by the yield. But yeah, what the strategy is trying to do is basically trying to say, okay, people overreact or don't react as they should react on X8. X8 should drop by the yield, but maybe it doesn't always do that. So I guess that's the premise of the strategy, and that's why we're showing it. And again, 1.19% return. It's meant to be what we saw in the backtest over 2 years. It lagged the S&P, but it was basically always positive. I mean, it's quite a passive strategy, right? Especially when you consider the companies that actually pay dividends are quite passive companies normally. So yeah, Onto our last strategy before we go on to the website changes. This again around earnings, and this is the earnings reversal. So unlike the other one, you wait till earnings actually happen, and then you just we track the stocks that again, pillar of everything had Zach's rank 1 or 2, and we just track them, and then you can apply different strategies like the earnings reversal strategy, so or the earnings momentum. So if a stock beat its earnings prediction and the stock went up after earnings, then you buy it as just sort of a momentum strategy. And you can see only 11 stocks because, again, it was an earnings season. And we split it into two parts. So 8 of the stocks went up after earnings and they had a minus 4% return. The other thing, sorry, that we do here is we make sure that surprise is bigger than 0. So they had to actually be on paper its earnings. That doesn't mean the stock has to go up or down. It just means that on paper it beat its estimate. So you can see 11 stocks in total. For the 8 stocks that went up after earnings, so sort of that momentum continuation, the average return was minus 4.4%. But again, this is only 8 stocks. Wait for earnings season for the true test. And then for the stocks that went down after earnings, so they beat earnings but they still went down, you can see the return is really bad. But again, it's only 3 stocks, so you can't generalize this. And this is our first month of reporting it rigorously. So moving on to the website change. So this is going to be version 5.1. I just need to update that. But you remember before, this used to show up all those charts with our manual backtest. Everything has been automated now. So it goes on to backtest. You have the 4 strategies here. You have small infos if you haven't watched the video, and you can select each strategy and you can customize them. Again, we only have 1 month here, so it's not too useful the white individual lines are individual stocks. You can change the benchmark. Again, we sort of demoed this last month, and yeah, it's perfect. Like you can see what Apple did, what you did. Again, this is only 1 month, but you can completely customize your strategies. Again, be careful of overfitting. Like don't like manipulate a lot of filters until you get a positive return. That's not how it works. You want to have the simplest strategy possible, have the least parameters possible so that you don't overfit. But I can probably make something that's positive. So yeah, if EPS percentage is bigger than 0 and growth is bigger than 0, then yeah, you can see 53 of the over like 750 stocks pass the screen, and you have a positive return now. But don't do this, especially on only 1 month of data. Like this is overfitting. But yeah, all our strategies are here. You can backtest them, you can customize them, and basically every month we're going to be updating this, and yeah, it will just be better because you'll be able to have more than 1 month of data. Like right now, it looks quite ugly, and you can't really take any conclusions. Me personally, since we've been backtesting this for 2 years in the old system, I know which strategies work, I know which don't, so I run them myself. But over the long run, this will enable you guys to create your own strategies completely for free. You have all the metrics, you have a month by month breakdown with the total column here and the average column. So yeah, really good. You can see the best and worst performing stocks as well. So yeah, that is the first change and the biggest change, I guess. Then again, this will be 5.1 after this. And then the last thing to check is, yeah, this gets updated every month. So every month, I run the web scraping on Zax, and I provide you completely for free all the stocks with rank 1 or 2. And yeah, this has been updated for August now. So again, don't know how many there are exactly, but again, you can, if you think a certain sector is going to outperform this month, you can filter by, like, for example, aerospace or like auto tire trucks or whatever. You can look at maybe rank 1 only if that's your strategy. Again, as you saw, you can backtest and see if positive EPS has a difference, if growth has a difference. You can also look at how far a stock is from its high and low. So for example, this one SES is really close to its low. So if I put like 5, it will still be there because it's really low. So I think the formula is like current price over high minus low or something. It's basically how close it is to its high. So the lower it is, the closer it is to low. I have the formula in the code, but yeah, it's quite hard while making a video to think about what the formula would be. But it's basically how close it is to its high and low. So if you put like 90, these are like stocks that are quite high in terms, or at least are closer to high than 90%. But if you want to buy maybe undervalued stock. I say this because just because the stock is close to its 52-week low doesn't mean it's undervalued. It may just be poorly performing, but that's another filter you can have. You can play around with this. You can order buy stuff as well. So yeah, it's perfect for you guys. And EPS forecast. Oh, it's this. Yeah, I was wondering if I filter EPS forecast makes no sense to filter by that, by the way. Only makes sense in relative terms because this is like I guess dollar denominated, so it doesn't make sense because a bigger company will have bigger EPS. So it always makes sense to do it by percentage. But yeah, that's the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feature requests for the websites, new strategies, let me know. And yeah, I'll see you in September otherwise. But again, feel free to comment anything you want or any features or whatever.